So I've been waking up early pretty much my entire 20s, and at this point, if I wake up at 7 o'clock on a weekday, that's me waking up late. I typically try to wake up at 5 a.m. But it wasn't always this way. There was a time when I was just like probably you, where I was sleeping in till 10, 11 o'clock. I didn't feel like I was getting a ton done with my days. In fact, I wasn't. I just didn't have a productive mindset about life. I didn't have goals I was trying to accomplish. My days didn't really go anywhere. I was kind of wasting my life for a while. But once I figured out I wanted to be the kind of person who achieved big things in their life, I realized I just couldn't keep living like this. I can't be sleeping in till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and expecting to be a very successful person. So I decided to become a morning person. And this isn't me waking up exhausted at 5 a.m. and wishing I could hit snooze on my alarm. I basically just get out of bed and I'm ready to go. I go hit the workout and then I go get on with the rest of my day and I start working towards my other goals. And in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to do the same thing. How to go from being somebody who's waking up late to being the kind of person who wakes up early, has a lot of energy, and is crushing their days. The first thing to understand about this is that struggling to wake up early and then feeling tired when you do wake up early is a symptom, not a root problem. There are things that are happening in your lifestyle, the way you're carrying yourself and going about your life, that are causing you to be the kind of person who sleeps in late, who's tired when they wake up. And if you got those things fixed, you would naturally become the kind of person who wakes up early. So the next thing we need to cover then is, what are the root problems that are causing you to be the kind of person who struggles to wake up early? And if you do wake up early, you're really tired, have no energy, and you're dragging through the day. And the first one of these things we're gonna cover is your evening routine. Most people don't have an evening routine at all. They basically get home from work and maybe they cut on Netflix, or maybe you're productive and you read a book and you're doing something useful with your life. Maybe you're working out, at least, something like that. But as a general rule, most people don't have a lot of structure towards the end of the day. We've all heard about morning routines, but evening routines are not something that's very well discussed. But I would argue that evening routines are probably more important than morning routines, at least in my own personal experience. If I have a structured evening, that means I'm gonna go to bed at a good time, which means I'm gonna wake up at a good time. Your evening routine is really about prepping yourself for the next day. So maybe you're gonna cook your food for the next day, get your clothes out, but the part that I really wanna focus on in this video is scheduling time in your evening routine, which is you're gonna schedule time to go to bed. So for me, I have a schedule that I follow every day, and it's in the notes section of my iPhone, and at the end of the schedule, it says the time that I wanna go to bed at, and I set that for 9 hours before I want to wake up. And the reason I set it for 9 hours before I wanna wake up instead of 8 hours before, which is the typical amount of time you wanna sleep, being 8 hours, I set it for 9 hours before I want to wake up because, like you, I'm probably not going to actually go to sleep at the time that I put it in my schedule that I want to go to sleep at. We all do this, right? You want to go to bed at a certain time, but things get in the way, distractions, you're checking your phone, or just something comes up and you don't end up going to bed when you'd really like to. So by putting it in your phone or wherever you're doing your scheduling at, that you want to go to bed at a certain amount of time and it's 9 hours before you want to wake up, you're probably actually going to go to bed about 8 hours before you want to wake up. Making sure you get enough sleep is one of the biggest keys to waking up feeling energized. This is extremely important. If you're going to try and wake up early off 4 hours of sleep, you're going to be tired and it's not going to be healthy for you in the long run. You need to make sure that you're getting to bed at a certain time so that you get enough sleep so that you can wake up feeling energized. Now, the next thing I want to cover is certain lifestyle factors that are contributing to the fact that you're probably struggling with sleep, you're struggling to fall asleep, or you're struggling to wake up and feel energized. Problems don't happen in isolation. If you can't sleep, you don't need a sleeping pill. You need a better diet, less screen time, and a daily meditation practice. It's important to understand that sleeping good is a normal thing. We think in our modern world that sleeping bad is the normal way to do it because most people are sleeping poorly, but that doesn't mean that it's healthy or natural. It just means that we have a society that has us doing all kinds of stuff that we shouldn't naturally be doing. We're on our phones late at night. We're on these diets that aren't healthy for us. All these kinds of factors are contributing to the fact that we can't seem to get good sleep, which is meaning that we're not waking up feeling energized and we're not waking up at the time we actually want to wake up at. One of the biggest things that you can do if you want to be getting good sleep every night is start doing a daily meditation practice. I'm a huge believer in meditation. If I could recommend one thing to everybody, it would probably be a daily meditation. It would improve your work performance, it would improve your relationships, it would improve your stress management, it would mean that you could sleep better. For me, if I'm struggling to sleep, it's because my mind is going a million miles an hour. I usually sleep great, but if I don't, it's because of this. I'm thinking about ridiculous stuff, and I'm sure you can relate to this. It has nothing nothing to do with anything going on in your daily life. I'm just sitting here thinking about life, philosophizing about the universe, or something ridiculous. My mind is just running a million miles an hour and I can't seem to get it calmed down. Or maybe something's really bothering me. I'm worried about something. It's one of those kinds of things, but my mind is going crazy. But this doesn't happen to me that often anymore because I meditate every day. And the meditation allows me to stay detached from my thoughts, not get caught up in it, and be able to relax myself and get into the present moment and fall asleep much easier. Animals can fall asleep whenever they please because they aren't getting in the way of the process. So I've got a dog, and my dog can fall asleep at any time. It can be 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 8 o'clock at night, midnight, 2 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. My dog can fall asleep whenever, and that's because it's not overthinking life. Animals don't overthink their lives, and so they can sleep whenever they want because sleep is a very natural thing. So if you want to start sleeping good, I would really recommend meditation. The next lifestyle factor we need to discuss is diet and exercise. Unhealthy diets have been shown to cause sleep issues. Unhealthy diets being diets high in processed foods and sugars. These kinds of foods have been shown to negatively affect deep sleep, and deep sleep is that restful sleep that gets you up feeling refreshed. It's been shown to really negatively affect this. So if you're eating high processed foods and sugary foods a lot, it means that you're probably going to wake up feeling groggy because you're not getting the quality deep sleep that you need. And along with this, exercise has got a lot to do with if you're going to be able to sleep good. If you use your body during the day, you're naturally going to be able to fall asleep a lot easier and you're going to feel refreshed. It's part of a natural day. Think about humans throughout time. We got up, we did a lot of physical activity, then we came back and we went to sleep. I especially believe in doing the exercise early in the morning. That's why I like it to be the first thing I do. It wakes you up, and just again, think about humans throughout time. What we would do is we would wake up in a hunter-gatherer tribe, and we wake up and we go out and we start looking for food, or we're in a battle with some other tribe. We were very active early in the morning, and then in the evening, maybe the community would gather around a fire and we're eating, we're chilling out, we're relaxing before we go to sleep. This is the natural human pattern. If you get into this, you're going to find that other natural human processes like sleep are going to be much easier things to do. The last lifestyle factor we need to discuss is screen time. Have you noticed that when you're scrolling on your phone, especially if you're on social media and you're getting bombarded with dopamine constantly from all these pictures you're looking at or videos and the constant stimulation, your brain just starts moving faster and faster. Well, what's happening in your brain when this is going on is you're moving into beta brain waves. And beta brain waves are these high frequency brain waves. They move really fast. They're frantic. It's when you're thinking and like up in your head doing stuff a lot. And they are the opposite brain waves of the ones that are going to cause you to fall asleep. When you're going from an active analytical state into a sleeping state, you go from beta brain waves to alpha to theta and then down into delta. But if you're on your phone late at night, right before you go to bed, getting stimulated, and you've got this bright light in your face, you're interrupting that process. So the last lifestyle factor that you need to change if you want to start being the kind of person who can wake up early with a lot of energy is you need to stay off your phone in the evenings. Now there's one last thing I want to discuss about your evening before we move on to the next thing, which is probably the biggest factor to getting on a good sleep schedule and waking up energized. And this last thing is called evening creep. Evening creep. The tendency to stay up later than you would like because of distractions or a lack of structure. One of the biggest reasons that people don't get the sleep they need and they're not able to wake up at the time they want is because of this thing I call evening creep. It's when maybe you were watching too many episodes of Netflix, you lost track of time, and now it's a lot later than you should have been going to bed at, or you were on your phone and you got caught up on scrolling on social media and now it's been an hour and you need to go to bed, but you should have gone to bed a while ago. It's just this tendency of your evening to start dragging on and things to get in the way of your ability to go to sleep because we don't naturally prioritize sleep the way that we should. We tend to think of sleep as this like, oh yeah, I'll get to that when I'm done with everything I need to do in my day. Whereas I'm telling you, if you want to get good sleep and you want to be on a good sleep schedule, you need to prioritize sleep. So I want you to pay attention to this evening creep thing in your life. If you find yourself checking between apps, you've looked at Instagram and Facebook 5 times each at this point, notice, oh, evening creep. I'm getting distracted. I'm going to waste a lot of time on this. I need to turn my phone off. I need to put it on the other side of the room and I need to go to bed. You might might even want to consider an app like Opal, which is a free app I use that helps me with my screen time. If I notice that I'm starting to check my phone a ton in the evening, I'll turn on Opal and it'll block the apps that I'm getting distracted by. And now we need to discuss probably the biggest reason that you're struggling to wake up early and feel energized when you do, and that is purpose. A strong sense of purpose is the ultimate 5 a.m. alarm clock. Here's the thing, if you don't have a strong reason to get out of bed, you're just not going to get out of bed. It just makes sense. And your reason can't be surface level. Your reason can't be because, oh, Jocko Willing gets up at 4:30, so I want to get up at 4:30, or I want to pretend to be Mr. Productive, so I'm going to get up earlier. Keith gets up early, so now I'm going to get up early. These are really shallow reasons. You need to think deep and have a strong motivating factor to get you up early. So like for me, I went from being the kind of guy who woke up at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning to being somebody who woke up first at 8 o'clock, then 7 o'clock, and now 5 o'clock in the morning. And the reason wasn't because I just decided to do it. It wasn't because I just woke up one day and said, you know what, I want to be a morning person. I did it because I changed as a person, and I decided that I had big goals I wanted to achieve in my life. I wanted to be the kind of person who earned a ton of money, who built a really successful career. I just wanted to look in the mirror and be proud of myself. I wanted to max out my life, and this stuff really fired me up, and so it was only natural that I was going to become a morning person. And this is why I say that having a purpose is the ultimate 5 a.m. alarm clock. I wake up and I'm ready to go. I've got things I want to accomplish. I know why I'm alive. I know why I'm getting out of bed. If you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's dark out and you don't even know why you're up, you can't really justify this to yourself, you're going to go back to bed. It would only make sense. And you should go back to bed. Just keep sleeping in until you figure out a good reason to get up. Struggling to get out of bed consistently is one of the most obvious signs that you're living an unfulfilling life. You don't have a sleep problem, you have a purpose problem. This is probably getting a lot deeper than you wanted in a video about waking up early. You might have wanted some tips and tricks, an alarm clock you could set or something like that, but in truth, you've probably tried those kinds of things before and it didn't work because it's surface level. But the reason you're not getting up early is not a surface level thing. It's a deeper issue. It's because you probably don't know why you're getting up early, which is probably because you don't have a purpose in life. You're not fulfilled with what you're doing. If you're waking up low energy, what does that say about how you feel about your life? And I'm not saying I get up in the morning every single day, just like spring out of bed, just like throwing up the fist, going crazy or something like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I get out of bed and I'm ready to go. And if you're just kind of getting up and you hear the alarm and you're just basically depressed because the alarm is going off, that's a problem. That means you're basically saying, crap, I have to get up and live my life now. If laying in bed is your favorite part of the day, then you've got a problem. And if you want to become a morning person and live a fulfilling life, because truthfully, this is deeper than becoming a morning person. You know, you've got one shot at this life that we're living here. And personally, I'd like to make it meaningful. I'd like to have an impact. I'd like to look back on my life and be glad I lived it, not glad that I laid in bed all day. And if you want to have that kind of existence, you need to get serious about what you're doing with your life. Like, are you excited about it? And your purpose doesn't have to be dramatic here, right? I'm a real estate agent. It's not like I'm running for president of the United States here, but I have a career that I enjoy and it's lined up with my goals, which is earning a lot of money and learning about finances. And I'm creating this content because I'm passionate about sharing these kinds of issues and discussing these things with you guys. I like the idea of building a personal brand. I like working out. I have this clear vision in my head about who I want to be in life, and I know I can get up every day and be that person. And if you haven't thought these kinds of things through and gotten clear on who you want to be and what you want out of life, you're just going to live a somewhat unfulfilling life. It's going to be different grades of unfulfillment, but it's never going to be deeply passionate for you. And so you're always on some level kind of going to be escaping life. Biggest reason I can effortlessly wake up at 5 a.m. full of energy is that I'm genuinely excited to live my life. Your top priority should be living a fulfilling life. Now, what that is for you is up to you. I can't tell you what you should do with your life, but you should really be thinking about that. You shouldn't be doing what everybody told you to do just because it's safe. You should be doing what matters to you so that you can be excited to get up in the morning. And I promise you, once you get clear on this, waking up early will be very natural for you. You'll want to wake up early. Like, I want to get up earlier because I want to get the day started earlier. I feel bad about my day if I don't wake up early because I know I'm wasting time that I could be contributing towards achieving my goals. Now, I'm going to cover 2 tactics that will make it easier for you to get out of bed and get up early. And these are things that if you apply these things we've discussed in this video, getting your lifestyle right, getting your evening routine right, and getting on your purpose, having a fulfilling life, life. If you get those things taken care of, then these tactics will be the cherry on top and they'll make it even easier for you. The first one is that when you're adapting to changing your sleep schedule, it's going to be tough the first few days. I mean, if you're used to going to bed at midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you're going to change that and you're going to try and be a 5 a.m. person, well, it's going to be hard for you to fall asleep in time. It's going to be hard for you to fall asleep at 9 o'clock because you're used to falling asleep at 2 o'clock. So the first few days, you're probably not going to sleep good, but what I want you to do is I want you to get up when your alarm goes off anyways. If you decided you were going to wake up at 5 a.m., get up at 5 a.m., even if you didn't fall asleep until 1 o'clock. And it's gonna suck and you're gonna be tired for a few days, but here's what's gonna happen. If you get through that phase, your body's gonna acclimate. Your circadian rhythm, which is what dictates when you naturally want to fall asleep and wake up, it's gonna change so that it's lined up with how you actually want to go through your day. And so you're gonna start being able to naturally wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and fall asleep around 9 o'clock. But this isn't gonna happen if every single time you fail to fall asleep, you just sleep in the next morning instead of getting up when your alarm goes off. It's never going to actually change your circadian rhythm. Eventually, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and have a few rough nights of sleep and be tired for a few days so that it will change. And then within a couple weeks, you're going to find that it's very easy for you to fall asleep early and wake up early. And the second hack that you can follow, and this one is one that I really swear by, is putting your phone on the other side of the room. If you have an alarm set on your phone and your phone is laying right here next to your head when you wake up, it's so easy to just either check your phone while you're laying in bed and get distracted that way so you're not out of bed yet, or just hit the snooze button and fall back asleep. For me, my phone's on the other side of the room, so when the alarm goes off, I have to get out of bed, which means I'm already up, which means I've already won the hardest part, which is getting out of the bed. At that point, it would be more effort for me to go get back in bed, so I might as well just go get started with my day. I hope you apply the things you learned in this video. It will really change your life. It will help you with your sleep schedule, and the purpose thing will completely change your life. You need to be living a fulfilling life. It's extremely important.